We're back to box office. We're back to box office.
I'm not betting a damn thing.
You better not bet anything because I told you. You're not listening to me.
$2 billion. $2 billion.
You think it's going to make $2 billion?
I'm joking. I'm joking.
Because you didn't even think it was going to make $1 billion anymore. All right. 5 weeks out from the release of Todd Phillips' Joker, Folie, Deux, it has appeared on the earliest tracking sites, and it looks set for a massive box office opening.
Oh, yeah.
Box Office Theory is reporting that the film is targeting domestic opening weekend in the 120 to 150 million range, with their estimate being $130 million result. That's decidedly above the 96.2 that the film opened to in 2019. That's a movie that is currently the 5th highest R-rated debut in history, behind the 3 Deadpool films and the first It movie. Though Deadpool and Wolverine will hold on to the crown for R-rated films with its $211 million opening back in July, the Joker sequel could come in second, as the other 3 films are only separated by several million, about 123 to 132. It's also lacking competition. Short of next weekend's likely $100 million debut for Beetlejuice, there's no other major openers in weeks aside from the more kid-skewing Transformers 1 in late September, which is expected to earn around $37 million in its debut weekend. Even October should give the film a pretty clear run until Venom: The Last Dance on October 25th. So, I mean, this movie, John, you didn't think it was going to make a bill.
I did.
You did? You did? Okay.
A lot of people didn't think it would make a bill. I think it's going to make it.
I'm not going to quote you on that one because I don't know. But yeah, this movie's going to do hand over fist.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And I see people going like, oh, I don't know. It's a musical. I don't know if I want to watch. The same people said, oh, I don't know. It's a movie about the Joker that's not really tied to the DCU. I don't know if I want to watch. You're all going to go. You're all going to go. And if Todd Phillips has done as good of a job as he did in the last one, this thing is going to make money hand over fist. And the fact that it doesn't have any competition, I actually think the 138 is kind of low. I would be surprised if it's not at 150 or higher, because Deadpool and Wolverine blew the doors off people's expectations. What was the one with Blake Lively blew the doors off people's expectations. So this is a year that is kind of weak for movies to a degree. And because there aren't that many coming out in competition with each other, people are more than willing to go over and over and over again to the movie theater, not feel like they're missing out or having to go to another movie. So I think this thing, if it's great, I think people are going to go multiple times through the weekend and support it. So I think 150 is more believable in my opinion.
I think 140, 150 is realistic and could happen. I don't know about multiple viewings for the Joker because it's not the same kind of lighthearted laughing fest that Deadpool is. This is the first movie I love. Not an easy rewatch. It's a great movie, and I really enjoy watching it when I see it. But you gotta know what kind of mental state you're going to be in going in and going out. Yeah, and so that's the same thing with this one. It is, but it's like this isn't a movie that you're like, oh, I want to go and laugh my ass off again and go and have and feel like. Deadpool and Wolverine's a fun movie to watch in the theater. It's just a fun movie. I can't imagine this is going to be fun. I can imagine it's going to be. We're just watching it like a spectacle.
Gaga. I mean, people could be curious to see what kind of Harley Quinn they do.
That's why I think a lot of people are going to go. And then I think what's going to happen is that people are going to go, is it any good? Or it's a musical? And the people who went to see it are going, you got to see this movie. And I think it's going to play that way. But I think it gets close to a bill, especially with this freaking opening that they're going to have surpassing the first. And if it's really good, the question is how much of a musical is it going to be? Right? Like you and I. Right. You got us on board with musicals. It's gonna be fun. But there are people. The reason they're not marketing it as a musical is because people won't go. Like West Side Story, the remake, was one of the better musicals that I've seen, and I love the original. It's one of the better movies that I've seen in quite a while. People just aren't flocking out to see musicals, man. They're just not.
Yeah, I mean, you got to hide it. Because Wonka made $600 million.
Exactly. Good point.
Yeah. And that's a musical. And so clearly they're doing that here. And we don't know how much of a musical it is, right? Because if it's all in their minds, then it's supposedly conveying whatever's going on in their warped minds. And so that's going to be fun to experience creatively. What can they do? What can Todd Phillips do? The set designers, costume designers, everybody, the production design, everybody involved in this. What are they going to bring about? How long are these songs going to be? How relevant are they to the overall plot? This is all going to be essential in how they're doing it. You know, Makuga was very legendary for hating musicals because he didn't understand people would just stop and sing and it has nothing to do with what's going on in the main overall plot. Makuga is the kind of person they want to bring in. So you want to make it work within the construct organically of the overall story that you're telling. So I think that's the approach they're having here. And look, it opened for 96 and made a bill. If it opens for 150, I think a 1.5 is a possibility, especially with no competition. So
Curious. I mean, it also depends on what kind of legs Beetlejuice is going to have, because Beetlejuice opening up at 100 million opening weekend, is that the biggest September weekend like ever?
That's kind of a surprise to me that people are thinking 100 million for Beetlejuice.
It's a big weekend. 100 million for. It's got a lot of hype behind it. It's an iconic movie. Have you seen the movie yet? I'm seeing it tomorrow.
I've seen it tomorrow night.
Me too.
Yeah.
So I
rewatched the original over the weekend for a reaction video for my channel, and it's only an hour and a half.
Yeah, it's short.
This one's an hour and 45. So
I'm excited. Look, it's one of my most anticipated films. I'm excited to see it. Joker is also one of my anticipated films. So I'm curious how they're both going to play. There is some. It's starting to beef up in September now, leading into the end of the year. So we're gonna have some good stuff. All right. So
it's got some negative reviews too. So
it did it.
Yeah, Vanity Fair didn't like it. There was a couple other sites that didn't like Beetlejuice, but then there's been people who were very positive about Beetlejuice.
The critic response is going to have no impact on this movie. It's not. It's gonna.
That's fair.
It's going to have no impact on this movie. Yeah. Like I can tell you, like my almost 13-year-old is a major Beetlejuice fan. Loves the musical. Loves everything about it. She could read 100, see 100 reviews, and they could all say it stinks. Not keeping her out of the theater. No way. It's Beetlejuice, man.
True.
Yeah. All right. I ask you guys, put your thoughts in there about Joker. Obviously, do you think that this movie's going to make $1 billion? Do you think it's going to? How do you think it's going to do overall? Are you excited to see it? That's what I want to hear. So put your thoughts in there. We're going to get to your questions in just a moment.